time today, just in time. Just made it. My long commute. Starts on the second floor, wake up to the third floor, shower, down here to get started. Such a long commute. Even then, I still didn't almost make it today. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I found your roll. No, I didn't. I went and I stole some from the party room. They haven't realized yet that I've stolen the one from the print party room. They will notice it today, probably, and come to me and say, where's the oil? I found out what happened to mine. Mine was stolen by Ayumi-san. In fact, I meant to take some pictures of this yesterday. My camera was here. We have another printer working upstairs. Ayumi-san is back. She started on Monday. She did Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. The middle room upstairs that used to be Cameron, because we've booted him downstairs into the second floor that used to be my bench, because I got booted down to this place. It's cascading. The middle room upstairs now is our little printer's station / baby station. The problem is it's in the middle of the building. So now everybody who goes upstairs to go into the printer's room has to stop, listen. Is the baby asleep? Ayumi-san's got a sign up there that says, baby is sleeping, be quiet. But then we're going to open the door quietly, walk through without waking the baby. We have no choice. We can't put the baby in a separate out-of-the-way room. So that was a great group photo. I don't get the reference. I'm sorry. I don't know. Did we show a photo? Did Cameron put something up? Did he? Tell me, where? On Instagram or on the blog? Okay, I'll check later, all right. Cameron posted on Instagram. Okay, I don't see that. Okay, good. I'll check it later. Including the baby then, is that the idea? Soka. Yeah, we had Ishikawa-san here yesterday, Rei-chan, Suga-san, Ayumi-san. There's one missing. It's Kanai-san, who prints out at her own home with her own baby, which is now not a baby. It's about 2 years old. Excuse me while I have a look at this. I didn't see this yesterday, so excuse me just a minute. Look at this. It looks like a little boy. Actually, it's a girl. We keep rubbing her about this, and she says the same thing. Everybody says it's the same thing, a little boy, but it's not. It's a girl. That's our crew. That's our crew at -1. Kanai-san. Actually, before I forget then, I got a package from Kanai-san. She's working at home. I'll zoom out here. She's working out at her home in the rural Nagano, and she's so far away. There's no convenience store within like half an hour or something. That's how far out she is. And she sent me, we received it yesterday. She sent me this package, and she is doing such a good job. You can see what these are. There's another 100 of them, and they are all identical. This one too now. We're into 1,200 copies of this. And how is the block doing? I don't have the block, but my God, the prints. There's nothing. The hair is sharp. The mustache is sharp. There's little tapering at the end of the hairs. The fine lines. There's just nothing. There is no wear and tear. Everything is clean, clear, and sharp. And the reason we're able to do this is a couple of things. One, we're limiting them to only not so many at a time. I don't think there's 100. I think there's about 80 copies. So we don't print so long that the block will get soft and soggy and wear out. Then we wait at least a month or so between batches. And then what we do is we demand that our printers use commercial grade sumi for calligraphers rather than grind it themselves, which like most other workshops in town do. We don't let them grind it themselves. Because when you do it yourself, you grind it, you think it's smooth, but it's not. It's still got lots of grit and powder in it. So the point being, the sumi ink is just pure liquid. It doesn't abrade the lines. My God, for 1,200 copies, and look at this. It's still clear and sharp. If you just showed me this and had me this, gave me this, and then the first copy, I would not be able to tell the difference. So anyway, I'm sorry. It's too bad she wasn't able to get into the picture yesterday. We should ask her to send a photograph over and we'll Photoshop it in or something. Yeah, it's nice. A good crew we've got, plus babies. When the two of them got pregnant, for me it was like the end of the world. You know, our two best printers checking out of work. You know, and they told me, they said they'd like to do it. They want to continue. They're not going to give up. And I said, "You're okay, but I don't think it's going to happen." And it's happening. All right, too much talk, not enough work. Let's get this up. Well, Amy-san, you know, she's back printing, but honestly speaking, I'm not really quite sure how productive she's going to be, and she's also whatever. We want her to do, of course, some of those doi hanga prints, the big gradations, the big shin hanga prints. There's no way she can do that under the current circumstances. The baby is there in the room with her, and every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, it needs attention. They had a huge trouble yesterday because the baby was pretty much crying all the way through it. Either Ayumi-san was holding it, or Suga-san was holding it, or somebody else was holding it. So in practical terms, I don't really know how productive she's going to be at the moment. This is really more symbolic than anything else. She wants to be back here. She wants to work. And yesterday, she's working on a really small postcard print, just sort of to get her hand in and to keep going. So please, you know, if you're on the waiting list for one of those doi hanga prints, please don't, you know, get excited about this, because it may still be quite a while before she gets up and running. And she may just fold her tent and go home if it's impractical. I can't tell. The kid right now is 3 months old. It just sleeps and drinks and sleeps and drinks. Soon it's going to start moving. It's a whole different story. So anyway, we're going to fly with it. We're going to do what we can. Okay, time for me to get the knife into the wood. It's a bit of a funny anomaly here. You know, you saw that picture of all those printers. We've got one more printer, as I said, Kanai-san, working at home. And as for carving, there's me carving, and we've got Kawasaki-san, the young girl carving in Kobe. And then Chon-san, one young boy from Hong Kong. So Moko Hankan production, when you think about it, our production is overwhelmingly female. The producers here, the people making our prints are overwhelmingly female. There's really 2 of us here, me carving, Chon-san carving, and then Yamamoto-kun, the young boy, who's printing the Great Waves right now this week. But it's overwhelmingly female. And yet last night, I was looking at the YouTube video statistics. And, you know, we put up the new video 3 or 4 days ago, so I was checking the statistics to see how it's going and the comments. And I clicked on the geography. That was called YouTube's analytics, as a geography tab to show you who's looking at the stuff and where they live and whatever. And it gives a gender breakdown. I don't quite know how they do that, but I guess they know who's logged in watching YouTube videos. They basically know whether they're male or female. I guess, I don't know. And the people watching the YouTube videos, watching our work and all that stuff, it was not 95 or 96% male, with the rest, you know, female, whatever. So it's whatever, it's like 19 to 1 male versus female. And yet the production here, the people making these things, is the other way around. It's overwhelmingly female. That's an interesting point. I don't know if there's anything great to think about there. Is this an earth-shaking thing? But it's very, very curious. We're a female crew making these things, yet the people watching the YouTube videos and talking about it, whatever seem to be, according to YouTube stats, seem to be overwhelmingly male. I don't know if there's anything worth noting there, or if it's just a random way of the world. I don't know. The statistics from YouTube may not be accurate. Maybe females are not identifying them as such or something. I don't know. Just curious more than anything else. The background sound noises should be different this morning. It's a nice, cool morning here in Tokyo. It's not so stinky hot. So the air conditioner is not on, and the front door is wide open at the moment. I've left the door open. So the sound ambience here should be quite different. What you're hearing is the basic sounds from the street outside. There'll be cars going by. You can hear the semi, that insect that lives down in the ground for most of its life and comes up and sits in the trees for a few weeks in the summertime. They're almost finished this year, but there are still some left out there. Can you hear them in the background? Mean, 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 up in the trees. And there are crows. I hear the question, right? Let's have a look before I forget about it. Something in the question box. Twitch questions. Yes, there's something new. So I was asking about a book review, Japanese Printmaking, a Handbook of Traditional Modern Techniques by Toshi Yoshida. I have a copy myself. It's not one of the books that we've put up on our website because it's still under copyright. I can't just scan it and put it up on the website. And also, I wouldn't do that because there's a number of techniques in that book that are stated as fact, which are really sort of in opposition to the way that most traditional printmakers do things. But we talked about one just the other day. Toshi Yoshida, they carve with the bevel of the knife on the line, and we don't do that. And so that's not a book I myself would promote as being a useful resource for printmakers, I'm sorry. They do a lot of experimenting, they do a lot of abstract printing, trying to print random colors and different kinds of things that mostly we don't do here. So in general, that's not a book that I myself heavily praise and heavily recommend. But whatever, it's all ideas. It's ideas on the table. You've seen this before now, cutting right through all these lines very lightly. We need to keep this hair straight. I mean connected. So you cut right through. 1, 2, 3. You'll see what happens in a minute. We didn't cut deep. We didn't cut deep, we cut quite shallowly. It's a real morning soundscape out there, you know, a few crows in the background, the summer insects in the trees. Every now and then a delivery truck comes down, slams the doors, revs up and disappears. That crowd of footsteps you just heard was a gang of people coming from the train station, the express train station, walking towards their job. Just when I started the stream, you perhaps didn't hear it in the background, there was a lady across the street who runs a little bag shop, the bag lady we call her for fun. She had a ladle and a bucket and she was moistening down the sidewalk. Keeps the dust down, keeps the heat down. She just throws water on the sidewalk off and on all day long. It's a nice soundscape. It'll change during the day, you know, when it gets closer to 10 o'clock and the theater next door opens up, the Comedians Theater. the boys, the comedians who are all trying to make themselves famous at the theatre there, they have to do their own promotion, so they come out onto the street and tout the theatre. They've got pamphlets and flyers. Come on in, Ori, come and watch the theatre. Special discount today, and blah, blah, blah. And all day long, they shout and tout out in the street. And it kind of bothered me at first when I moved here. Come on, you guys, you're just making noise all day long. You're not really helping your business, whatever. And I was grumbling about this to one of the other shop owners here. He said, put your foot in, just shut up. You don't know about the history of this place. He was speaking friendly. And the theaters, that's what this was. This was a theater district. So those boys are really right in the real tradition of what this street was. And they're trying to keep it, a bit of the history alive. I'm a newcomer here, so if I don't like the sounds on the street, just be quiet. They're the guys who are the real, the ones who belong here. This was a theater street. Almost every building was a theater or an entertainment place or a high-class restaurant or something. This was a totally different environment back in the 1920s, 30s, in the pre-war period. The war destroyed it all, of course. This was the #1 entertainment spot in Tokyo. This is before Roppongi, before Kabukicho, everything. Geez, you guys are outpacing me. I'm not seeing this. You're outpacing me. Blah, 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 blah. Am I dual broadcasting on YouTube? No. YouTube for us is edited movies. This is live streams only. So. There's another group of sounds you would have heard here if I'd had the microphone on earlier. By the time I start here at 8 o'clock, it's all over. Last night was on a Friday night, so the bars are doing pretty well. And the general bars, the ones for salaryman and stuff, they close down around 10:30, 11, whatever, so people can get home. But there's a whole other class of bars that are open all night long. And the Orange Bar, 2 doors down from us, it's quite a famous place here in Asakusa. It's one of the old established bars, 1970s or something. And he opens about 7 in the evening or so, 7 or 8. And he'll close about 5 in the morning when the first trains start running. So people will go in there in the evening and settle down with a drink and another drink and just relax and chat and spend the night there. I don't mean sleeping, but just spend the night in the bar. And he's open. And once the trains start running, that's it. He boots them all out and away they go home at 5 o'clock in the morning. So that's another section. I wake up sometimes during the night because they spill out of the bar, and sometimes they're a little bit, whatever, they talk, and they, and in the street outside, because of the tall buildings on each side, there's a sort of a canyon effect in the street. And when people spill out of a bar like that at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're chatting, and they're happy, and they're saying goodnight to each other, it echoes up and down the street. That's another sound, a guru guru. I know somebody's pulling their luggage along the street from the train station. At this time of day, it's people heading for the airport. Later on in the day, it'll be people coming in from the airport. Maybe I should do some soundscape recordings like we did for Ome. We did a few back in Ome with my windows open. In a past life. I think there was a question, really. Did I miss it? Oh yeah, someone's talking about that soundscape of the Ome studio. Yeah. Where am I? Question box. Do I listen to music? I know these days, no. It's just an environment where that's not possible. I'm in the shop here most of the day. When I was working back in Ome by myself, yes, I had a giant sound system, massive speakers, woofer. I listened all the time. It's not part of my life these days at all. So another question, lots of questions. Basically asking, someone's asking here, does paper need to be sized? And in general, yes. If you get raw paper of the type that we use for our own printmaking, it wouldn't print. If you try putting it on the block and rubbing it, it dissolves and comes apart. But I don't know what you've got. When you're buying paper out there, you say you've got some Hosho paper in a pad, that would sound to me like it's perhaps already sized. There's one way to find out. You try it. If it dissolves on the woodblock, then it's not usable. The reason we size paper is for the mechanical resilience against the rubbing. The rubbing just is too strong for raw paper. It tears it apart. I know that bike, that's one of the delivery guys, and he's from the coffee shop 3 or 4 doors down on one side. It's Tenkoku. Heaven is the name of the coffee shop. And he's got a key to their shutter. This is quite common. This happens all the way down the street. That coffee shop opens at noon. But they need deliveries, and there's traffic restrictions here. Deliveries are supposed to be made before a certain hour in the morning, because this is a very busy pedestrian street and you can't run trucks and stuff down it. So the general rule is all deliveries happen in the morning, but it happens before a lot of these restaurants and bars open. So what they do is they've all got shutters or screens or grates or whatever, and that coffee shop has a grate. I've seen this guy, he's delivering something. It's not quite sure what it is. It might be a package of bread rolls or something like that for the coffee shop. And he's got the key to the grate, so he rolls up on his little bike here, his little scooter, pops open her shutter, her grate, drops the bread rolls inside, slams the shutter down, and away he goes. And the Iceman, we've talked about him before, the Iceman has the key to the orange bar. So the bars and stuff, they pass out the keys to the various delivery men, so that nobody has to sit here waiting for the delivery to come, And some of the stuff that's temperature sensitive, this ice box, box. So on inside the shutter, there's a bunch of different, styrofoam boxes, and somebody will deliver, whatever, milk or ice or something, whatever, into all these boxes. And then zoom off again. So. It's very much a just-in-time system here in Japan. It's not just the Toyota people that build cars just in time. The restaurants here will get their vegetables and stuff, of course, delivered on a daily basis, sometimes more than once. The oyster shack next to us gets at least 2 beer deliveries each day, once in the morning and then once again in the late afternoon. And it's plus minus. It results in chaos sometimes on the streets. There's just so many trucks and delivery things running around and motorbikes and stuff. But part of the reason is any given business just doesn't have room to store these things. We're all in a real tight situation. There's just no room for a giant refrigerator to keep a week's worth of stuff in. What kind of microscope does Dave use? No, it's a Meiji. It's a Japanese one. I got it from a factory that was closing in Texas. An NEC factory that was closing in Texas about 10 years ago? No, a bit more than that. It's a Meiji. It's what they call the EMZ type. EMZ. It doesn't dramatically, we can't see bacteria or something. We're not inspecting blood cells here. It was designed for things like inspecting circuit boards. You can see the connections and traces on the circuit board. So it doesn't magnify all that terribly hugely. I've got it set at the lowest possible magnification. If I set it too high, my knife just goes out of the view field really easily. Meiji is the brand name. Meiji. It's a Meiji EMZ. I don't know the numbers. I've got two of them actually. I got another one on Yahoo Auction a while ago. I try with a spot for a camera, but the magnification is too strong. Now the microscope isn't something I would really recommend for anybody who's trying this, who is, at a relatively young age. I've slipped down now. My eyes are what they are for a 66-year-old guy, and for me now, the microscope here is a wonderful pair of glasses for me. I set the left eye and the right eye to a different focus to suit my eyes. And the other advantage for the microscope doing these streams, as we've talked about this many times, is it keeps the field of view exactly in the same place. So the camera just sits there and it's always in focus, always in the right place. But if I didn't have the microscope here, I'd be moving all over the desk and difficult to keep a camera. Somebody is doing some construction. I wonder if it's at the new Korean restaurant. There's a real mystery on the street this week, this month. There was a shop about just one door down past the theater. The theater is so it's 3 doors down from me. There was an old closed up shop. There was a tax accountant had a little shop in a building there. It was closed for all the years when I came here, the first 2 or 3 years. He had apparently got old and wasn't doing business anymore. And after he died, that was it. Bang, bang, bang. Things changed. The building is leased out. And over the past half a year or so, what they did is they gutted the building, ripped out all the old junk office stuff, and built it up into a shell for a shop. They put walls in, air conditioning, blah, 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 new lights. Made it look really nice. It's really, really, really small. A small place. It's like a 6-mat room, and then upstairs is another 6-mat room. So whatever, I don't know the numbers in square feet. But if you know Japanese rooms, 1 room downstairs, 1 room upstairs with a thin staircase. Then they put it on the market for rent. And it was a staggeringly high rent. We went to the websites to see what this thing was. And I think it was 59 goju kyuman, so 590,000 yen per month rental, which is roughly about $6,000, whatever, in US bucks, for this little tiny 1 room downstairs and 1 room upstairs. And it was empty, empty, empty. The sign was up for rent. Then a few months back, I don't remember exactly the timetable, a few months back, somewhere this spring, while we were doing the renovation on our place here, the for rent sign came down and somebody took the place and they started their own renovations. They ripped off the front doors and windows that had just been finished a few weeks ago and put their own system in. They put in a little kitchen down on the first floor. They fixed the stairs going upstairs, and it seemed to be some kind of little food service place. There was a takeout counter at the front they built, and you would buy your food, it seems, and you'd either take it out or you'd go upstairs to sit in one little room upstairs. And then one day the sign went up, the big sign on front, and it said, in translation, it said Korean temple food and Korean sweets. And we're all looking around, wow, this sounds fun, this sounds fun, this sounds fun. They did their construction, and the people came in and started doing things, and then one day the kitchen stoves moved in and stuff like that. And then one day, and this is about a month ago, maybe a bit more than a month ago, they seemed to be open. They put the sign outside on the sidewalk, Korean temple food. The girls were in there cooking. So I went over there around lunchtime to see what was on the menu. They've got a menu. They've got a kind of a thing, I don't remember the Korean name for it. It's kind of like what we call a norimaki, rolled sushi. You know, the seaweed rolls with different kind of stuff. I think in North America they call them California rolls. That's also in Korea, so they have this one up. And they've got a package that said 500 yen, whatever. So I ordered. I said hello, introduced myself. I'm the guy down the street. He said, oh yeah, we know you, we know you, we know you. And he said, here, it's service, take it, you don't have to pay. I said, no, it's okay, we'll pay. He says, no, we're just in a trial opening, it's not really ready. Just here, take it, let me know how it was, whatever. So I'm like, well, thank you very much, thank you very much. She gave me 2 or 3 more, here, for your staff. And this is not out of line. This is the kind of thing that a new shop would do. I mean, we didn't go around giving woodblock prints to everybody because it made no sense. But a food shop like that, for their neighbors, they could introduce themselves and give some food samples. So no problem, no problem. I ate it, it was pretty nice, kind of a mild taste. It wasn't fiery Korean or whatever, just a mild taste. And then when I was walking by later in the afternoon, I said my thank yous again. I said, staff really enjoyed this, thank you very much, good. And a couple of days later, the shutter closed, and it's been closed for a month. It's been absolute silence. We have no idea. Have they given up business? What's the problem going on in the background? We don't have any idea. And the other day I was chatting with the local Don for this street, the guy who runs the Merchants Association. I said, do you know what's happening? He said, I have no idea. Haven't seen him in weeks. We don't know what's going on. And yesterday, a real estate agent with the sign and the label and the jacket came along and opened the shutter and showed it to some other people. And we're like, what? The people rebuilt the shop, brought in kitchens, cooking equipment, rebuilt the whole place, opened on one test day, closed the shutter, and now somebody else looks like they're trying to rent the place. Make up your story. Who knows? No idea. They ran out of financing, got in trouble with the gangsters. I don't know. I have no idea. Make up your own story. We're curious. All of us in the community are just waiting and watching to see what's going to happen. We were ready to welcome new neighbors, and it seems like it's not going to happen. Or different new neighbors will be here. I mean, maybe it could be something mundane. They didn't get a proper license from City Hall or something, or I don't have any idea what it is. I'm sure when we came and opened up, some of the community was thinking, how long are these guys going to last? Woodblock Prince, good luck to them, We're still here, 4 years later, we're doing okay. So, a new business has trouble. A new business sometimes doesn't make it. But to close before you even open, I don't know. These sounds like they might be coming from down there. It's somebody with a screw drill or something. Once I finish the stream, I'll get out there and check on it to see. Curious. When you Google me, it says you're 67. I will be 67 in a couple of months. So this is the year I become 67. So Google, in that case, knows my birth year, but not the birth date. So at the moment, I'm 66. Soon clicking up one more. A North Korean shell company. Who knows? It could be. I no idea. Don't quote me on this. No idea. No idea. No idea. So the gangsters bought their local businesses. Myself, we've talked about this before. I know we have never ever seen them here. I mean, we see them. We know they're here in the community. But what I mean is, they've never approached us. We've had absolutely zero trouble with gangsters. And there's a couple of reasons why that's probably so. One is we are not what's called mizu shobai, the water trade. If you get a restaurant, if you get a bar, nightlife, liquor license and stuff, then you're probably going to have to deal with the protection rackets, with the gangsters. We're a woodblock print shop, and if they had ever come by, looked at us, they must have looked at themselves and said, yeah, right, like we're going to get a lot of business out of here. So they just left us alone. That might be the reason they've left us alone, or it could be because I'm a foreigner. And from their point of view, they're thinking, I don't know the rules. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know, when they come into a new business and announce themselves, the owner is supposed to quake in his boots and okay. And they think that someone like me probably doesn't know the proper rules and how to behave. So they've left me alone. I really don't know. I have no communication at all. My personal experience with gangsters here in this building here is zero. I've had experience with them in terms of payoffs when I bought my home in Ome. The previous owner was heavily indebted to gangsters, and as part of the purchase deal, I paid his debts to the gangsters and got the house in return. But that's a different story. Here in Asakusa, I've never seen them. So it's not an all-pervasive corruption society. And we know Japan's not like that. You know, you don't have to pay off the police. There's no parking tickets. You know, there's no gangsters in daily life and that stuff. You don't have to pay bribes. In all the years I've been here in Japan, all the years, 30, whatever it is now, I've never paid off anybody. I've never been asked to pay off anybody. I've never had the slightest intimation of anything like that at all. 100% clean. Is that for today or what is it for? I don't know. Excuse me a second while I check that. Party reservation for it's for today. Right. Oh, 4 people at 1 o'clock. Good. That's curious because we had 3 people booked at 1 o'clock and then they cancelled yesterday afternoon. But here we are. They picked it up. Somebody else has picked up the space. Good. That sound. Do you hear that? What it is, it's a guy with a saw, Japanese saw. He's cutting through ice blocks. This is the ice delivery for the orange bar. The Iceman cometh. Ice cutting and wood scraping. Which one do you want to hear? How big are the ice blocks? Well, he's cutting them into a size that he can carry into the shop. I don't know. Oh, yeah, people ask about the videos. I used to go outside in a saksa. He's got this for a long time today. Oh, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. He'll have a double order or a bigger order. Yeah, it's Saturday. Ready for Saturday night in the bars. I was saying, people want to see videos of stuff happening in Saksa, and I really should get out there and collect more stuff like this. You know what it is? He comes with a little flatbed truck with some, insulated panels on the back of it. He's got larger chunks of ice. The waiting list grows longer. He's got larger chunks of ice, and he slices off a piece. He slices off a chunk about, I don't know, what can I say, about 20 centimeters, maybe 50 centimeters long. Puts them in plastic bags and hauls them in, puts them in the ice box. Inside the front door, inside the shutter. In fact, that was the sound. You heard the shutter going up? That'll be the shutter for the bar. He's now putting the ice in, and a minute later the shutter will come down. Yeah, neighborhood strolls. I know. We'll try and get to it. Just. Shutter coming down. And go. Totally sounds like the back of his truck being locked up. The Saksa morning soundscape. Truck starting. And away goes the Iceman. It's around 9 o'clock, I guess, right? So as far as staff today, I know Cameron won't be here, of course. This is Saturday. Cameron's off for the weekend, as always. I know Rachel won't be here. She's off with her family on a summer vacation thing. It's going to be, I believe, the two boys today. Kawai-san and Koizumi-san and me. We're going to be. We're going to be the ones up today. So no ladies here. So it's a boys' day today. David, Kawai-san, and Koizumi-san. And we're booked for parties now. We have a 10 o'clock session, a 1 o'clock, and a 2:30, and I think a 4 also. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember. And the 10 o'clock session is, he may be here. Are you on? I shouldn't mention names and stuff. The young man who's in for the 10 o'clock session is a Twitch viewer. He was on Twitch last week, and he may be on Twitch this morning watching us. There might have been some comments. He's bringing a few friends for a print party this morning at 10 o'clock. Why did I move to Tokyo instead of any other place in Japan? Tokyo is where the action is. Of course, it's where life is. I needed to be near supplies, tools, people who made prints. I needed to be near a market. There are other people. My friend David Stones, he's from Britain. He's a printmaker. He came here before I did. He's got priority on me. He's older than me, and he's been here longer. And he did the thing about living in the country, building an old house and stuff like that. And that's cool. He's got a very quiet, peaceful life with his beautiful wife and his printmaking activities. But have you ever heard of him? That's his choice. And he wanted a quiet country life, making woodblock prints, and that's what he got. Our approach has been different. And for us, it's just whatever. It's Tokyo. It has to be Tokyo. There's nothing else. Listening to the sounds is funny, you think, if you were blind, what would happen, and, everything else. And there's so much information in the sound, If I went blind, I couldn't do my job, obviously. There's this stuff you can do and stuff you can't do. But just listening to the people walk by and trying to mine the information out of it. The woman that just walked by just now, she's got, she's on her way to work. Is in an office, because she's got office shoes. You heard the sound, click, click, click. It's a lady's shoes, office shoes. But there was a kind of a hesitancy in the sound, and I was just thinking, why is it hesitant? She's unhappy, she doesn't want to go to work, she's not so Genki. And I thought, no. What she's probably doing is watching her phone. There's a certain way that you walk down the street when you're watching your phone, of course. You don't go bang, 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 bang. You go bang, 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 because you're not careful where each step is going. You're not sure where each step is going. So probably an experienced or thoughtful person who had no vision, a blind person, could sit here listening. Oh yeah, she's watching her smartphone. No, it's okay. There's a ton of information you could probably mine from this. Overthinking it, I don't know. But it's just fun listening to, with the open door here, listening to these sounds go by. Of course, I know what most of these sounds are because I've lived on this street now for years. I think that group is done. What should we do next? There's not a whole lot of time. Let's just grab one small little group. What have we got? 15 minutes or so left. I don't know. Just move ahead group by group. Let's do this next little group. That's something I like about Tokyo. You hear that motorbike go by. You know, in many Asian cities, it's just motorbikes wall to wall, and all you have all day long is a massive wall of sound of these roaring motorbikes, or scooters and stuff. You know, they exist in Tokyo, but not in any obtrusive sense. You know, you heard one bike go by, and that's it. That's probably the first one you've heard all morning here. You know. It's going too much today. I'm sorry, I can't catch all of this. Excuse me. Oh, this must be Kawai-san. Good morning, hello. Is it that time, is it? 9 something. 9:13. He's a bit early this month. So. You hear those footsteps? That's not rats. That's Kawai-san going upstairs. He's going to dump his bag upstairs. I'm doing well at getting the staff trained. You know, they all first started dumping their bags here behind the sales counter, but it's so tight for space down here. I've been trying to train them, you know, upstairs. Use the toilet upstairs, dump your bags upstairs, have lunch upstairs, take turns, you know. And they're sort of resisting. They want to do the easy way and hang around down here. But I do not want this shop full of junk. Absolutely do not want it full of junk. So we're trying to resist and set the culture here at the beginning. So, and so far it's working. At least on days when I'm here, they're following my instructions. When I'm not here, I don't know. Come and say hello. 涼しいでしょ。そう。昨日も。
Very comfortable.
クーラーなし。そう。So I've got the window at the back open and this one open. Probably later it'll get hot. We'll need to shut it and put the air conditioner on. But right now it's great. So we're just moving into the best part of the year in Japan. The stinky hot stuff is behind us now. Well, there will be some hot days coming. It doesn't just slide down like that. But overall, the stinky hot days are behind us. And the next couple of months are going to be so nice before the cold weather hits in. You guys have got a good conversation going. Okay, good. Away you go. So I got a few minutes. I'll do a few minutes more of this, do a couple more, then we'll set up. パーティーが今ようやく入ったばっかりですから。1時のパーティー夜の間にキャンセルしたんですが、今何分前、もう5分前ぐらいにまた1時のパーティー入ったんです。そう。2時半のパーティーはちょっと難しい。4人グループ、海外の友達でようやく OK。その後小泉さんが日本人のおばあちゃんのようやく一緒に入れたんです。5人になったんです。
あ、そうなの？
そう。彼が5人大丈夫かなと。そんなことないです。だから2時半のパーティーはちょっと難しいみたい。1時今入ったばっかり。日本人のグループかな。
こっちシステム444でやってるの？
そうです。だからでも445。
5なんです。
だから彼が入力できなかったんですから。
入力しないんですよ。まあ変わんないからあれ。
今2時半のパーティーは家内というもの日本人4人です。での1時のパーティーは OK。問題は2時半パーティーは難しい。
日本語と
そう。
おばちゃんちょっとケアして。
おばちゃんか分からない。声で小さな日本語の声ですから分からない。何歳か分からない。そう。
4時5時に。
You can hear the street coming alive here. There's a lot more people going by, back and forth, back and forth. Shops are getting ready to open. It would be fun, a soundscape, you know. I should maybe think about that, put a mic there somewhere, and then do a time lapse, put a camera up on the roof or something, looking down. So many ideas, so many things to do, so little time. twice, so now he's heading for the party room. He's got to make sure there's enough paper for today's reservations. There's the footsteps. He's posing me something. Good morning. Say hello.
Hello.
Arizona today?
Hi.
Arizona today? Okay, I think it's about time then to get this wrapped up. I'm on duty on the first party today. What are we going to be doing here then? Let's get this zoomed out a bit. Here's the block we're working on. It's taken a bit longer than I thought, but again, as usual, if I was just doing nothing else with this, it would go much quicker. Let's get the light off here. I tell you, I don't have a switch on that light. Can't turn it off. So what we've got, this is the black block for the octopus print, her hair, the octopus eyes, and a bunch of black dots. We're getting there now. You know, there's maybe another morning for this, cutting this, then her hairlines will come out. Today's Saturday. I'll be here Sunday morning, same time, same station, to do the next batch on here. Okay, quite a conversation going on here. I haven't seen half of what's going on. I'm sorry. I'm going to leave, but this chat stays open, I think, so you guys can keep chatting if you want. You know, I'll turn the video off and I'll be out of here. I've got to get to work. If you want to keep talking as you are, as you wish. Okay, same time, same station. See you tomorrow morning with continued work on this hair, on this block. Thanks very much. I have to get to work now. Thank you very much. See you soon. Camera down. Hot mic for the crows. And away we go. See you tomorrow.